Any mandated reporter who knows or has reason to believe a child or vulnerable adult is being neglected or physically or sexually abused, or has been neglected or physically or sexually abused within the preceding 3 years, is required to report suspected abuse or neglect to investigating authorities. A person who is not a mandated reporter may also report the suspected abuse or neglect. District policy requires all licensed staff and paraprofessionals to report suspected cases of child or vulnerable adult abuse or neglect. Student welfare is a primary concern of the district. Our district recognizes and assumes a moral and legal responsibility to protect children and vulnerable adults from maltreatment. District staff must be acutely aware of laws and guidelines in this area, as well as procedures for reporting. If you know for a fact or have reason to believe any of the following have occurred, it is your duty to report: neglect, abandonment, inadequate care or supervision, domestic violence; physical abuse, physical or mental injury; sexual abuse, sexual contact which violates criminal sexual codes; maltreatment. For vulnerable adults, neglect, physical abuse, sexual abuse, plus financial exploitation; death which may have resulted from neglect or physical or sexual abuse. If danger is not immediate and the incident is related to the home or care outside the home, call County Child Protection or County Adult Protection as soon as possible. If there is no immediate danger and neither of the agencies apply, call local law enforcement as soon as possible. If there is no immediate danger and you are unsure, call County Child Protection or County Adult Protection as soon as possible. If a death has occurred, call 911 immediately and then as soon as possible notify your supervisor. If an individual is in physical danger, you should contact local law enforcement immediately. While not required, it is a good practice to also report child maltreatment to the Minnesota Department of Education. When in doubt, always report as soon as possible. This means a verbal report within 24 hours and a written report within 72 hours. Remember, you are just reporting your concerns and not responsible for determining whether or not maltreatment indeed took place. Reasonable cause is a matter of professional judgment. You should report if you know of circumstances that would give a cautious person reason to believe there was abuse or neglect. If you do report, you are afforded confidentiality unless you have given your consent or a court order results in disclosure. You are immune from liability unless you knowingly or recklessly make a false report. If you do report, you are protected by law from retaliation. You may request a summary of the disposition of the investigation of the allegation. If you do not report, you are breaking the law and may be guilty of a misdemeanor, and you are endangering the safety of a student and could be subject to work-related disciplinary action. Remember that you are a reporter, not an investigator. Leave the investigating up to child protection officials. Detailed information about the following is available in your building: Reporting Child Abuse and Neglect, a resource guide for mandated reporters; a summary of the Vulnerable Adult Act of 1995; a list of commonly asked questions and answers; district procedures, and other materials as references. Reporting can be difficult. However, reducing any risk to the future of a child or vulnerable adult is well worth the effort.